Those little LED bulbs, the ones that use maybe a quarter of the power an old incandescent would, last 10 years, supposedly pay for themselves in a few months. That was the pitch. Switch to these and we'd all just use less electricity. Simple. Here's what actually happened. When the cost of light dropped far enough, we didn't use the same amount for less money. We started lighting everything. That parking lot glowing like a football stadium at 3 a.m., LEDs. The billboard bright enough to read from a mile away, LEDs. Office towers keeping every floor lit all night. Gas station canopies, car dealerships, landscaping patios, everything lit, always on. The efficiency didn't reduce consumption, it created new things to light. It's not that anyone made a bad choice. The new warehouse needs lights, the parking lot should be safe. But every individually sensible decision added up over millions of buildings completely ate the savings. Global electricity consumption for lighting is roughly where it was before LEDs existed. After billions in efficiency investment, all those bulb swaps, all those energy-saving claims, flat. We didn't save power, we just got way more light for the same bill. A 100-year trend of decoupling lighting from energy use just stopped. Because once light costs almost nothing, you find reasons to leave it on. Somebody actually figured this out in 1865. A guy named William Stanley Jevons, studying coal in England. Steam engines had gotten way more efficient. They could do more work with less coal. Everyone thought, great, we'll burn less. Jevons checked the numbers. The opposite was happening. Coal consumption was going up, not down. Because more efficient engines made coal power cheaper. And when coal power got cheaper, industries that couldn't afford it before started using it. More factories, more steam engines, more total coal burned than ever. He published a whole book about this, The Coal Question. The book was right. Nobody acted on it. England's coal consumption kept climbing for decades, from 100 million tons in 1865 to nearly 300 million. The exact pattern, written down in 1865, sitting in a book for over a century. We've been rediscovering it ever since. Jevons wasn't wrong about the math. He was wrong that anyone would act on it. Fuel-efficient cars, probably the version you've felt yourself. You get a car that goes twice as far on a gallon. Your cost per mile drops, so you drive more, farther commute, more weekend trips. Detours that don't sting the way they used to? You bought the car to burn less fuel, then you just used it more? The U.S. Department of Energy studied this. About 10 to 30% of the fuel savings get canceled by extra driving. The average American drives about 14,000 miles a year now, up from 10,000 in the 80s. The government tightened fuel economy standards for decades. Every time cars got more efficient, people just drove more. A study of Chinese cities found the rebound was even bigger, closer to 50%. New roads, more efficient cars, and traffic just got worse. The paperless office. Remember that phrase? It showed up in a Business Week article in 1975. The prediction: computers would kill paper. No more filing cabinets, no more forests turned into memos. Then offices got computerized, and paper consumption went through the roof. When it's trivially easy to print, you run off 100 pages, find one typo, reprint all 100. Laser printers, networked printers, desktop publishing. Email with attachments. Every one increased paper use. We use 4 times as much paper per capita as when the paperless office was predicted. It created an explosion of printing. The cost per page dropped so low that paper became a rounding error. By 1985, just 10 years after the prediction, office paper use had already doubled. Digital photography is the same thing in your pocket. Film cameras had a hard constraint, 24 or 36 exposures per roll. Every shot cost money. Now you have unlimited storage and a camera that costs nothing. So you take thousands of photos, blurry cats, screenshots, 15 lunch angles. We take more photos in a single year, around 1 trillion, than existed in all of human history before digital. And every one of them sits on a server somewhere, consuming energy forever. We swapped film processing for data centers. We didn't save resources, we just made photography cheap enough to do constantly. Fast fashion is the textile version. Clothes used to be expensive. A few pieces a year, worn until they wore out. Manufacturing moved overseas, supply chains got efficient, suddenly a t-shirt costs less than a sandwich. The average person buys about 60 garments a year, wears them 7 times, and throws them out. Efficiency didn't reduce resource use. It made clothing disposable. Textile waste is up. Water consumption from cotton farming, up. Microplastics, up. Global clothing production doubled between 2000 and 2014. Not because we needed more shirts. Cheaper clothes mean more waste. Drip irrigation, precision sprinklers, soil sensors. These let farmers use water more efficiently. less water per crop, exactly what you want when aquifers are running dry. But here's what actually happens. They expand farmland, or switch to thirstier crops. Because they have extra water now, why not use it? A Kansas study found water use actually went up after efficient irrigation. The savings got eaten by expansion, just with water instead of coal. The Ogallala Aquifer has been dropping for decades. In parts of Kansas, the water table dropped more than 100 feet since the 1940s. Efficient irrigation was supposed to slow that down, but farmers make rational choices. Nobody's doing anything wrong. The net effect on the aquifer is worse than if efficiency had never improved. Server efficiency is the one still happening. The ending isn't written yet. Data centers have gotten staggeringly more efficient. Modern servers do more work per watt every year, but the cloud is also growing explosively. Every stream, every AI query, every smart fridge, it all runs on servers. Data center energy demand is projected to double. A single AI training run can use as much electricity as 100 homes for a year. We'll make them more efficient, then we'll just do more computing. It's happening right now. I guess saving resources is harder than it sounds. Anyway, that's all today. Thanks for watching.